There are seasons in a man's life when everything appears lost, when failure seems final, and every voice whispers that it's over. But I tell you, it is in this darkness that destiny begins its work. You are not at the end. You are at the turning point. There is a law that governs all of life. Nothing is ever destroyed. It is merely prepared for transformation. The soil must break before the seed can grow. The man must fall before he can rise. And right now, life is breaking you open only so that it can rebuild you stronger. You have been measured, tested, and stretched to your limit, but you have not been defeated. The pain you feel is not punishment. It is instruction. Every disappointment, every closed door, every sleepless night has been chiseling you into the kind of man who cannot be broken again. When the world turned its back, when you were left alone with your doubt, a new voice was born inside you, a voice that said, "Not yet." That voice is the sound of your comeback. The world does not yet see it, but the tide has already begun to turn in your favor. I want you to understand something powerful. Every man who ever rose to greatness, Ford, Edison, Carnegie, met the same moment you face right now, a moment when the world said, "Quit," and their soul said, "Rise." This is that moment for you. You do not need permission. You do not need applause. You need only a decision to stand up again. For a single thought of defiance, held with faith, is stronger than 1,000 regrets. Your future is not waiting for better conditions. It is waiting for a better command. The same force that carried you through your darkest night now gathers strength behind you. Every setback has become a springboard. Every wound, a weapon. Every delay, a hidden preparation. The time you thought was wasted was the training ground for the life you asked for. Listen carefully. Your comeback will not announce itself with fanfare. It will arrive quietly, through your persistence, through your refusal to give up, through the fire that now burns in your eyes. And when it comes, the world will not believe how quickly you rose, because they never saw how deeply you prepared. You are about to witness what happens when a man refuses to stay fallen. You are about to prove that faith, when mixed with decision and desire, can rebuild anything. This is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your return. Your greatest chapter begins now. There are seasons in every life when all that once felt certain dissolves into question, when the plans that promised reward collapse and the road that seemed straight vanishes into fog. It is in such moments that most men believe they are finished. But the truth, the eternal truth, is this: nothing in life is ever destroyed. It is only being rearranged for your advancement. When a storm tears through the forest, it does not kill the soil. It nourishes it. When fire consumes the mountain, it clears the way for richer growth. And when failure comes to a man, it burns away the weakness that would have ruined him at the summit. Every breakdown is the unseen hand of destiny reshaping you for greater things. This is the law of rhythm. The tide recedes only to return. The seed must be buried in darkness before it rises toward light. Every defeat is a cycle in motion, an ebb before the flow, a rest before the rise. The wise man does not curse his low seasons. He studies them. He asks not, "Why am I here?" but rather, "What law is working through me now?" The truth is that every great life turns at the point of apparent ruin. Henry Ford faced bankruptcy 5 times before building the motor that moved the world. Edison failed 10,000 times before the first light burned steadily. Lincoln was defeated in election after election before the people saw in him the calm, resolute faith of leadership. These men were not chosen because they never fell. They were chosen because they refused to stay fallen. If you have known failure, if you have been stripped of pride, misunderstood, or left behind, count yourself fortunate. For life has deemed you worthy of refinement. You are being trained for strength, not comfort. A man who has not suffered has not yet been tested, and a man untested cannot yet be trusted with greatness. In these moments of breaking, life removes all that is false. It removes dependence on applause. It silences the noise of vanity. It strips away the illusion that success is born from luck or approval. What remains is truth, pure, indestructible truth, that all power begins within thought. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. Every sleepless night, every door that closed, every betrayal was the chisel shaping your character into something precise, something unshakable. The same blows that seemed to shatter you were in fact sculpting you. You ask, why must I endure this? Because only through loss can a man be taught what matters. Only through silence does he learn to hear his own voice. Life is not breaking you down, it is breaking you open, so that the power within can find room to expand. I have watched many men rise and fall, and I tell you plainly, the distance between ruin and rebirth is one decision. The decision to believe that what you endure has meaning, that somewhere within this pain lies instruction. The moment you accept that idea, not as poetry, but as law, you will feel the first spark of peace return. The one who rebuilds does not begin with wood or steel. He begins with belief. For faith is the foundation upon which all comebacks are built. The mind that holds faith in the midst of darkness becomes the lamp that guides itself, and that lamp is never extinguished. Take this moment and see it differently. You are not at the end. You are at the turning point. Every element of your life that seems against you is now in secret service to your development. The same force that allowed you to fall will raise you higher once you obey its rhythm. When Ford stood in debt, he did not curse his failure. He studied it. He learned why his ideas were unready and improved them. Edison's assistants begged him to quit after years of darkness. He smiled and said, "I have not failed. I have found 10,000 ways that will not work." Lincoln, despised and doubted, learned patience until patience became his weapon. These men learned that delay is not denial, it is direction. And so it is with you. Every disappointment is a detour to discipline. Every fall teaches balance. Every loss forces the rediscovery of purpose. When you understand this law, fear loses its grip. For what once looked like punishment now appears as preparation. Sit with a pen and paper and write each failure you have faced. Next to it, write what it taught you: courage, humility, endurance, faith. You will discover that even your pain paid dividends. The act of writing transforms confusion into clarity. You reclaim authorship over your own story. Repeat quietly, I am not falling apart. I am being refined. My struggle is my signal to rise. Say it until you feel it. For words repeated with faith imprint themselves upon the subconscious, and the subconscious obeys without question. You will begin to see your situation differently. The burden that once seemed unbearable will become a teacher. The fear that once paralyzed you will become your fuel. When a man stops asking, "Why me?" and begins asking, "What for?" the comeback begins. This is the moment that separates the drifter from the thinker, the defeated from the destined. The drifter blames chance. The thinker studies cause. The defeated man curses loss. The destined man learns from it. And every law of success, from desire to faith to persistence, begins here, with the realization that you are never a victim of circumstance, but a student of law. If you were broken, it means you were strong enough to be remade. If you were delayed, it means you were being prepared for something requiring more precision. The only true tragedy is to stop before the lesson is learned. Now, breathe deeply. Inhale the awareness that everything you have suffered has meaning. Exhale the idea that you were ever abandoned. For infinite intelligence wastes nothing, not even your tears. You are standing at the threshold of transformation. The door before you does not open outward, it opens inward. Your outer life will change only when your inner belief changes. Before a man rebuilds his world, he must first rebuild his mind. A man may lose fortune, home, position, or companions. Yet if his mind remains disciplined, he has lost nothing permanent. For thought is the first cause of all creation. It is the architect behind every empire, invention, and miracle ever known to man. When a man learns to govern thought, he regains dominion over all that seemed lost. The true comeback begins not with action, but with the reconstruction of the mind. Everything you see around you was first an idea in someone's mind. The bridge was once a thought. The city was once a dream. Even the greatest fortunes were built first within imagination. Therefore, if your world has collapsed, it can be rebuilt the same way it was first created, by deliberate thought. The destruction you see outside yourself is only a reflection of disorder within. Correct the cause, and the effects will follow. No man rises higher than his dominant thought. It matters not how strong his body, nor how vast his opportunity. If he carries defeat in his mind, life will obediently produce defeat. But if he plants faith and determination in his mind, circumstance will bend itself to his purpose. The mind is a mirror of your belief, reflecting in matter what you hold in spirit. You must begin this reconstruction as a master builder begins his craft, with a clear design, steady patience, and unwavering faith. The first task is purification. You cannot build a new palace upon the ruins of old fear. You must clear the debris of resentment, self-pity, and doubt. These emotions block the natural flow of creation. The subconscious mind cannot build upon confusion. Each morning, before you meet the world, pause for 5 minutes of deliberate command. Sit upright and speak with conviction to your inner self. I am the master of my thought. I command my mind to hold only what serves my purpose. I release all fear, for faith alone shall direct me this day. Speak these words not as hope, but as order. You are training the subconscious mind, which obeys authority, not pleading. Each night before sleep, reflect with honesty. What did I think today? Did my thoughts align with my purpose, or did I allow fear to lead? You will find that reflection refines the mind as polishing sharpens steel. Repetition of this practice plants new rhythm in the subconscious, and in time, right thinking becomes as automatic as breathing. Andrew Carnegie built an empire that employed thousands, yet he often said that his true labor was mental. When markets wavered and men around him panicked, he would sit in stillness, reviewing causes, never reacting to noise. His composure was his fortress. He understood that order in thought creates order in life. When others saw crisis, he saw adjustment. When others saw loss, he saw instruction. And because of this mental stability, fortune flowed toward him as surely as rivers flow toward the sea. You, too, must build that inner fortress. The world around you may be in motion, but within you must be still. Every day that you replace fear with understanding, you rebuild one stone of your inner structure. The mind, once reconstructed in truth, becomes unshakable. It no longer bends to circumstance. It bends circumstance itself. Understand the law of autosuggestion, for it is the architect of all reconstruction. The words you repeat daily, the images you hold, the emotions you permit, these are the blueprints of your life. The subconscious mind does not reason, it receives. If you feed it doubt, it will obey by creating delay. If you feed it faith, it will obey by creating opportunity. The subconscious is the silent builder of destiny. Imagine your mind as a workshop. In this workshop, every tool is a thought. Doubt dulls them, faith sharpens them, complaint rusts them, gratitude preserves them. The worker within, your subconscious, cannot choose the tools. It simply uses what you provide. Therefore, see to it that only right material is supplied. Each morning, picture your life rebuilt. See yourself standing calm, strong, prosperous, at peace. Do not wish for it. See it. Act as though it were already formed in the unseen. The more vivid your image, the faster the subconscious obeys. The universe is responsive to clear command. Say often, I command my thoughts. My faith rebuilds my life. My mind is my kingdom. Say it until it no longer feels like repetition. but revelation. The moment your own words begin to stir feeling within, the reconstruction has begun. Emotion is the energy that gives thought form. Others will begin to perceive the change before you speak of it. They will notice steadiness in your manner, quietness in your eyes, confidence in your tone. They will feel that something invisible has strengthened you. What they are seeing is the alignment of thought and belief. True strength requires no announcement. It radiates naturally. When you have rebuilt your mind, you will no longer depend upon encouragement. You will become your own source of faith. The opinions of others will lose power over you because your approval will come from within. The one who commands his mind commands his destiny. Do not think that you must remove all fear at once. It is enough to replace one weak thought with one strong one each day. As light gradually drives out darkness, faith gradually dissolves fear. The important thing is constancy. The mind learns through repetition as water shapes rock through persistence. If you falter, begin again. Every return to faith strengthens it. The man who trains his thought daily becomes invincible, for no circumstance can conquer the one who has learned to think correctly. He may lose position, but not purpose. He may lose wealth, but not will. And so long as he thinks in harmony with truth, his recovery is inevitable. There will come a day when you will look back upon this struggle and bless it, for it forced you to discover the workshop within. It compelled you to become your own builder, your own healer, your own teacher. That discovery is worth more than any possession you once lost. Understand clearly, before a man can rebuild his world, he must first rebuild his mind. The mind is the mold of life. Change the mold, and the form must follow. The outer is the shadow of the inner. The man who thinks with precision cannot live in confusion. Now take your notebook and write upon its first page a single declaration. From this day, I think only thoughts that serve my purpose. I am calm, deliberate, and unafraid. My mind is the source of my comeback. Read it every morning and night until the words become part of you. As you do, ideas will begin to arrive, quietly at first, then more frequently. Each idea will be a step in the staircase of your return. Infinite intelligence will use your faith as its signal. The more definite your thought, the clearer the response. You will begin to see order where others see chaos. Opportunities that once seemed hidden will appear as if unveiled. You will meet those who share your vibration of confidence and vision. This is no miracle. It is law. The outer world reflects the inner one. Hold steadfast to this truth. Thought is the first movement of creation. When you think rightly, you align with the very force that governs stars and seasons. That power cannot fail you if you do not fail it. Faith, held through uncertainty, transforms uncertainty into form. The world may still doubt you. Let it. Their doubt will become your proof. The man who holds his belief against opposition multiplies his power. The mind that refuses to surrender to circumstance draws from an unseen source that never tires. Your reconstruction is underway. You have begun to clear the ruins, to lay the foundation of faith, to design with precision. Continue until your thought becomes your reality. For thought, when persisted in with belief, becomes law made visible. Before a man can rebuild his world, he must rebuild his mind. You are doing that now. And as the mind rises, so too shall everything that depends upon it, your confidence, your fortune, your peace. You are no longer the same. You are the builder awakening within his own creation. You are the thinker reclaiming dominion over his world. The walls of limitation are falling, and the pillars of purpose are being raised. Now that your mind is rebuilt, the time has come to awaken the force that carries dreams into reality, your burning desire. There comes a point in every man's reconstruction when faith alone is not enough. Faith gives direction, but desire gives it life. Faith builds the plan, but desire provides the fire that moves the plan into action. Without desire, the finest mind lies dormant, like an engine without fuel. It is desire, definite, burning, and disciplined, that transforms knowledge into power, thought into progress, and faith into achievement. Every great comeback begins with this single spark, an idea so alive in the imagination that it refuses to die. A man may be stripped of wealth, comfort, or opportunity, but if he still possesses desire, he is still rich. For nothing can destroy a man whose heart burns with purpose. The force of desire, when guided by faith, becomes the magnet that draws all necessary people, ideas, and events into alignment. When Henry Ford first conceived the idea of building a motor for the common man, he was surrounded by mockery. The world said, "It cannot be done." He smiled, for his desire had already accomplished it in his mind. When he was forced into bankruptcy, he did not see failure. He saw a foundation. When his first models broke down, he saw improvement. His desire was so definite that doubt could find no place to dwell. Thomas Edison worked through night after night, hands trembling, eyes weary, yet his mind fixed on light. The world slept while he labored, not for fame, but because his desire commanded him. When asked why he continued after thousands of failures, he replied, "I have not failed. I have discovered thousands of ways that will not work." That is burning desire. It does not measure time. It measures progress. Abraham Lincoln, when defeated for public office time and again, held one thought that sustained him, that his purpose was greater than his comfort. Desire kept his faith alive when logic might have quit. It made him humble but never hopeless. That desire carried him from obscurity to immortality. And so must your desire carry you now, for you cannot rise with half a heart. You must decide what you want so completely that it consumes hesitation. The moment you do, infinite intelligence begins to organize unseen forces on your behalf. Thought mixed with emotion becomes faith, and faith mixed with action becomes power. There is a law in the universe that nothing resists the man who moves with clear purpose and unbroken desire, the timid wish but the determined command, the timid hope but the determined expect. Desire is the difference between those who dream and those who build. Now take your pen and write what you will become within the next year. Not what you might become, but what you will. Write it clearly, concisely, and with certainty. Then read it every morning before you begin your work and every night before you sleep. As you do, emotion will awaken faith, and faith will begin to transform your thought into form. Write something like this: "By the end of this year, I will have restored my confidence, regained my strength, and established prosperity through my definite purpose. I will not retreat until it is accomplished. I live each day as if success were already mine." This declaration, repeated with belief, becomes your blueprint. Each repetition strengthens the bond between thought and subconscious action. The world around you will begin to respond as though drawn to an invisible current. The people you need will appear. The doors you require will open, and the energy you lacked will return tenfold. Desire is not mere emotion. It is the concentrated will of the Spirit. It is the flame that makes men rise from obscurity to influence, from failure to power. But understand this law: desire must be definite. A scattered desire produces scattered results. The mind must hold one central image, one clear goal, and feed it with daily attention. Say aloud, "I hold a burning desire that cannot be denied. My faith is the fire that turns thought into form." Speak it until you feel a physical response, until your heart quickens, your breath deepens, your mind clears. That is the energy of life awakening within you. Every time you allow doubt to linger, the flame of desire flickers. Every time you reaffirm your purpose, it brightens. Protect your flame as you would guard a precious lamp in the wind. Avoid those who pour water on your fire through cynicism or complaint. Keep your mind focused upon the end result, not the obstacles between. Desire must be emotionalized daily. This means you must not only think of your purpose, but feel it. Imagine it as already done. See yourself walking in the world you have built.